Welcome to Hedgehog's Hungry Hodgepodge. It's the 4th Saturday of the month, and that means it's dessert week. This month, we're going to fully celebrate October by making a pumpkin bread with a really yummy pumpkin cream cheese frosting. Let's get started. First, we're going to mix our dry ingredients. Okay, first we're going to start with a bowl. We're going to add 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, ½ teaspoon salt, ½ teaspoon ground nutmeg, and ½ teaspoon ground clove. And you're just going to mix all that together until it's fully combined. Next, we're going to add everything else. It's going to sound really complicated, but stick with me. I promise you it's not going to be as complicated as you think. With the rest of the ingredients, you're going to start with eggs. You're going to start with 2 of them, the whole thing. Then we're going to be beating these on medium-high for 2 minutes. Next, you're going to add 3/4 cup of dark brown sugar, and you're going to beat that in on the same speed for another 2 minutes. Afterwards, you're going to add 1/3 cup of white granulated sugar, and you'll beat that in for 1 minute. Alright, now we're going to switch things up a bit. We're going to drizzle in ½ cup of vegetable oil while mixing this on medium-low speed. Drizzling is a little difficult with a handheld mixer, so what I like to do is just add a little bit at a time and mix it in until it's fully incorporated, and I keep adding it in batches until it's fully done. If you have a standing mixer, just do as I said earlier and drizzle. And again, this is just until it's incorporated. Now we're going to be adding 1 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree. Now this is extremely important. Get the pure 100% pumpkin puree. Do not, under any circumstances, get the pumpkin pie filling. The reason for that is we've added all of the seasonings to it, and if you add filling, which the filling has seasoning in it, it's gonna taste funky. I can tell you that much. And we're gonna mix this on low until it's incorporated. Now that that's done, we're gonna add our dry ingredients. We're gonna add in half of the dry ingredients and mix it in on low speed until it's incorporated, and then we'll add the second batch. Mix it in until it's incorporated. And now we're going to add about ½ cup of chopped walnuts. And you're just going to fold that in. You're done with the mixer for now. This is also a good opportunity to scrape down the sides if you missed any of the flour, and that way you can get everything in there. But you want to be pretty delicate with it. Over mixing will make it a really stiff bread, and no one really wants that. Okay, now here I have a 9x5 sized bread pan that I have previously greased and floured to make it as easy as possible to get the bread out. And you're just gonna pour that batter in there. Oh, I just want to put this in my mouth right now. Don't. Salmonella, guys. It's gross. And we'll just shake it so that it's even in the pan. And then you're just going to pop it into an oven that you've preheated to 325 degrees. And you're going to let that go for 60 to 65 minutes. While we're waiting for the bread to cool, we're going to be making our cream cheese frosting. Alright, first we're going to start with 4 cups of powdered sugar. That sounds like a lot. It's really not. Just do it. Next, you're going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And you mix to combine. In a separate bowl, you're going to add 12 ounces of cream cheese that's been brought to room temperature, and a stick of butter that has also been brought down to room temperature. And you're going to beat this together on medium speed for about a minute until it's combined. Next, you're going to add your powdered sugar mixture, little bits at a time, and mix it on low. And you're going to do all of this back and forth, sugar mix, for about 3 minutes. And finally, you're going to add 1/3 of a cup of pumpkin puree, the zest from 1 orange, and the zest of 1 lemon. And you're going to beat that on medium speed for about a minute. And now that we're done, we're going to want to frost the loaf immediately because this does have butter in it and it melts pretty quickly. And I'm really excited about this, not just because it tastes really good, but because I got the end piece. Yay! This is really great because a lot of times when you make sweetbreads, it can be really heavy, but this isn't, especially with the zest in the frosting. It really brightens the whole dish, and the contradiction between the two is not contradictory. It works together. Now, if you have a nut allergy, of course, don't put nuts in this, but if you don't, make sure you put them in there. It really lends that extra mellow flavor to it that you wouldn't have otherwise. All my recipes can be found at www.hedgehogshungryhodgepodge.com. You can leave comments and suggestions there right here on YouTube. I'd love to hear what you think. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of Hedgehog's Hungry Hodgepodge. Bye!